Hello, and welcome to your energetic guidance for the week of July 18th to 24th. Just had two cards fly out of the deck. All right. So let's see what we have coming up for this week. The first card that came up is the Holy Mountain. So I don't know if you can see this little dude up here, but he is at the highest vantage point that he can reach as a human. And just sitting there meditating and receiving information. And so for me, what this card is saying is we're still being extremely intuitively guided right now, and that information is coming through very easily still. So there's a lot of energy coming through from the sun. There's a lot of energy coming through from the moon. And they are, I don't know if there's an eclipse coming up this week or not, but that there's potential eclipse energy, even if there's not actually an eclipse. There's eclipse energy, so there might be something going on with the planets that's creating that. But basically, you are able to see things from that super high vantage point. This may be a good time, actually, to look back at if you created the wider perspective, if you created like what you are trying to like a plan for what you're trying to create over the next few months, and you mapped out the whole thing. At one point during the readings, I had told you to come back to a super close perspective of only what you're supposed to be doing that day or that week, and staying very, very present in the step-by-step action of what you were being guided to do. So it's time for you to bring that lens back out and see how you're progressing towards your goals. See if there's any intuitive guidance that comes through in terms of shifting, like correcting course a little bit. Just if you bring yourself out to that wider perspective and you're able to see whether or not you're still on course for manifesting what you had decided to manifest, this will allow you to do any like minor course corrections that you may need to do to refocus, to get yourself back in alignment with creating those things. Okay, so that's what this week is going to be. The start of this week in particular is going to be focused on, is that. Second card is the drum. I just am looking at this card. I think this is a beautiful card. In that it's very easy to actually get distracted from. This is you This is your spirit guides. This is the universe working through you. So everything is extremely connected this week. Everything is extremely, again, it's just another pull to your guidance and the work that you're doing with the universe. Everything is coming through very, very easily, with not a lot of resistance that you might normally have to receiving guidance. There's not a lot of resistance there. You're very in tune and very in alignment with your higher self, with the universe, with your intuition, with God, with however you want to look at that. And so you're moving just very easily exactly on the path of where you're supposed to be. So just make sure that that's still where you're wanting to be headed, okay? And if you are course correcting, if you do need to have a little bit of guidance to bring you back to that path, you're going to get it 100% without a doubt. And there's just another callback to the sun and the moon, okay? So both of those just, and a call to like meditation and to asking the universe to guide you through your intuition, through the guidance that you'll receive, or through the messages that you'll receive through those meditations. I would actually suggest in particular this week that you do shamanic journeying. And if you don't know how to do shamanic journeying, feel free to ask me questions. I can guide you to some information on that. And I may actually, what may happen is I may create one in my newsletter and send that out to people just to help aid this process. So keep that in mind as well. And just a last callback to the sun and the moon energy, that I really am curious to see if there's an eclipse happening this week or not, because that is, again, even if there's not an eclipse happening, there's the energy of an eclipse. And the energy of an eclipse is basically like full moon or new moon energy on steroids. And we have this week, there is no full moon and no new moon. So I would say that you have the option to choose that as you will. But just know that there's going to be a lot of energy that's going to help you get laser focused on your path. There's a lot of support and a lot of guidance that's coming through to help you stay laser focused on what you were trying to do. And just the sun energy throughout these three cards is really like, whatever it is that you're trying to create, you're going to be more successful than you could possibly imagine. So that goes along the gamut of like, from the tiniest thing that you're trying to create to the biggest thing that you're trying to manifest. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. You are going to be successful. Yeah, let's see some action steps. So just another pull to that sun and moon energy. It's just, you can see it in every single one of these cards. The bigger sun and then the smaller moon. I know that this is obviously supposed to be a moon in this card because the card is called Radiant Moon of Compassion, but just the energy through the theme of energy throughout all of these cards is very apparent. And this is a plea for you, or not a plea, kind of a plea, to use this compassion on yourself, to not get so bogged down in your to-do list, like especially for those of you who have gotten a little bit off track, who have veered a little bit off of the path to creating whatever it is that you want to create. This Radiant Moon of Compassion is especially for you, and it's to shine light on the fact that it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get somewhere. It doesn't matter if you have detours, most of which are often divine detours anyways, and they're for a purpose. They're for you to learn a lesson or for you to see things from a different perspective. So just keep that quality of compassion for others, yes, but mostly for yourself. And really understand that what a full moon is designed to do is shine light on things, and that illuminating factor is going to play very big this week and into the next week when we actually do have, no, we have a new moon next week, not a full moon, so never mind. This illuminating factor is really coming in this week, but it's also going to be coming in next week. So just keep that compassionate view for yourself first and foremost. Again, this is to the celestial mountain. We've got mountains over here, mountains over here. Whatever it is that you're trying to create, there's just, it's actually 41, but I saw 11. Whatever it is that you're trying to create is, it's not like a day journey. Like you can't hike a mountain, like a full mountain in a day. You have to understand that a mountain, when you have this giant thing that you're trying to create, it happens in a step-by-step process. You're not going to leap to the top of the mountain in one step. You need to really just allow yourself to move through the potentially, you can either make this a journey that you enjoy, hardships, challenges, obstacles, and all, or you can make it like a grueling pilgrimage that you're going on to get to the top of this mountain. The way that you do it is up to you. And this card just falls right underneath the drum. If you choose to tune in and listen to the intuitive guidance that's so readily available for you this week, it will be an enjoyable journey rather than feel like you are clawing your way up to the top of this mountain with your fingernails. So just keep that in mind. So the last card here is Veil of Shadows. And again, this is just kind of what I already spoke about with this card. There's like a full moon, like illuminating kind of energy about this week that will allow you to see things the way they actually are. And some of the things that are coming up are potentially not going to be super pretty. It's going to be potentially, some of the things that are coming up are going to be pieces of your shadow self that you have to come to terms with, that you have to learn how to embrace. And that's again where some of this compassion comes in, and that's just underneath the blade. And something came up at the end, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Just in terms of like what a blade is used for is cutting away the pieces that you don't need. So there's a little bit of that energy coming into play as well. Here though, it's more about like cutting away the veil that's preventing you from seeing your shadows in the way that you need to see them, and in seeing this shadow piece. So what a shadow piece is a piece of yourself that you've disowned, that you've decided that you don't want to have because it wasn't acceptable, or somebody told you that it wasn't okay for you to be like that. And the purpose of a lot of the energy that's coming in this week is to find out what that shadow actually is trying to help you with, and embrace it instead of continuing to reject it. And that is like this blade is going to help you cut away the illusion that you have been under in terms of thinking that this piece of your shadow is a negative thing. So watch out for something coming up that you instinctively, you feel like you instinctively want to reject or continue pushing away, because that's going to be the thing that you're supposed to embrace and find out how to use that for your benefit. And it's going to help you in terms of doing what you have decided that you want to do. It's going to help. Embracing this is going to be a piece that's going to help you get there. So keep that in mind for this week and